Let's now move on to building out our color panel and messages components. We'll start with the color panel, which is on the left-hand side of our side panel, and within it we'll import a number of things from Semantic UI React. We'll grab the sidebar, menu, divider, and button components. So the main component will be a sidebar. We want to use the as prop to make it as the menu component that we imported. And we'll have additional props of icon set to labeled, as well as inverted, vertical, visible, a width of very thin, and within the sidebar, we'll first have a divider to divide it from a button underneath with an icon of add. I'll have a size of small, and its color will be blue. You can save all that, take a look at it in our app. You can see our thin black color panel on the side with our one blue button. Now moving on to messages, we'll import from Semantic UI segment and comment. And we'll replace the starting div with first a fragment. We're going to group a number of custom components together within this fragment, the first of which will be a messages header component. Then we'll have our segment with a comment.group within it, which is where we'll eventually put our messages. And we'll give it a class name of messages, this comment group. Then underneath the segment, we'll have another custom component of message form. So first we'll create the file for our messages header within the messages folder. So we'll import React at the top, and this will be a stateful component. Give it the class name of messages header. We'll have its render and return, and we'll first make sure to export it at the bottom. Then at the top we'll bring in some components from Semantic UI. We'll grab header, segment, input, and icon. We'll begin with the segment to group related content, and we'll add this clearing prop since we're going to be using a few floats within the segment. This basically works as a clear fix when we float items to one side or another. So header will have a fluid set to true. It'll be as an h2. It'll be floated to the left, and we'll give it a style prop with margin bottom set to 0. And within our header, give it the text of channel, and then to the right hand side we'll have an icon with the name of star outline, and the color for it will initially be black. And we'll wrap the channel and icon in a span, and underneath the span tags we'll have a subheader for our header component, which is where we'll show the number of users for a given channel. For example, 2 users for now. And underneath the header we'll have another header which will be floated to the right, which will have an input, and on that input give it a size of mini. The icon will be search. The name will be search term. The placeholder for the input will be search messages. So this will be an input to search messages in a given channel, and we'll just add a comment at the top for our first header of channel title, and the second header will be channel search input. So now back in messages, we're going to import messages header from the same folder. And now moving on to our message form, create a new file for that in our messages folder, where again we'll import React. This again will be stateful. So class message form extends React.component, render, return, we'll export it. At the top we'll import from Semantic UI segment, button, and input. So we'll begin with the segment again. Give it a class name of message underscore underscore form. Within the segment, I have an input, which is where we'll be adding new messages to a given channel. The prop of fluid, the name of message, style prop with margin bottom set to 0.7 ems, a label, which will include a button, which will have an icon of add. We'll put the label to the left-hand side. The placeholder for the input will be write your message. Then underneath the input, we'll have a button group. We'll have a couple of buttons, which will have prop of icon and widths of 2. So our first button will have an orange color. The content for it, the text on the button, will be add reply, and the label position will be left for the icon, which will be edit. And then the next button, in addition to being able to add a reply, we're going to have a button that will allow us to upload some media with the color of green, content of upload media. The label position for the icon is right, and the icon is cloud upload. And once again, within messages, we'll import our component of message form from the same folder. We'll save that. Now we can see the basic structure of our messages component. Now, as you notice, things are a bit stacked at the top. We need to add a new section in our app.css file, first for our messages class with a height of 440 pixels, then overflow y of scroll. This will be for our messages area where we can look at all the messages for a given channel. Then we'll have a message form section with message underscore underscore form, the position of fixed and set to important. The bottom for it will be 1em, margin left will be 320 pixels and important as well. The left will be set to 0, right 1em, and z index 200, so it appears in front of everything else. We'll save that. Now we can see our messages area takes up much greater height, and our message form takes up the majority of the remaining width.